Aurora Public Schools is closing all of its schools tomorrow. The district says they're expecting a lot of staff members to call out and they can't safely operate.
So this is likely because of the nationwide strike action that's planned in response to President Trump's immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. It's a protest that calls for people to stay home from work, school, and shopping tomorrow following the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy at the hands of federal agents. Both those citizens had ties to Colorado.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez has talked with a couple of businesses participating in this protest. He joins us now with more on how they're taking part. Colton?
Yeah, Kim, for some of the businesses here in Denver, they're choosing to not open their doors tomorrow. But for others, they tell me they're having to find a different way to participate.
Yes, Alice in Wonderland. We could order it for you.
Business as usual will take on a different meaning for several shops on Friday.
It felt like we needed to stand up and we needed to make sure that our view of what was happening tomorrow was very clear to everyone coming in, that we do support the nationwide strike.
Sydney Ivy's bookstore, The Spicy Librarian, is just one of several businesses in Denver taking part in the National Day of Action against ICE.
Caring for someone shouldn't be political.
Yvette Preston says she will close her store, Preston and James, for the day.
It's not something that we're just shoving a rug over, closing an eye to, and it's that whole saying of it's not in our backyard. Like, people care.
The decision to close down does not come as easily for others.
The reality is that we are a small business and we can't close.
But Sydney says they can still participate.
That doesn't always have to look like closing and shutting down and hurting our own business. So we are donating 5% of all of our profits tomorrow.
Each business modeling their behavior over what they feel is right.
I look at it as like, I am going with our morals, right? I'm leading my business through like that morality lens.
I mean, there is that whole, don't show religion, don't show political views, but it's like, why be scared?
Both of these businesses tell me when it comes to immigration enforcement, they say the Denver community is paying attention. Live in Denver, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Denver Nuggets just defeated the Brooklyn Nets 107-103, spoiled Michael Porter Jr.'s homecoming to Denver. He had a season-high 38 points, leaves with the L.
But they did a nice welcome back. He smiled.
They were polite.
He saw his
They
old
were polite
teammates.
To him. Yeah,
we just wanted to win.
It was cordial.
Yeah,
it was cordial.
Good. It got a little close.
Yeah,
but
we bring this up because we're about to bring in the audience that's been watching that game over on Channel 20 here in just a second. And here they are. Welcome, folks. Thanks for being with us. Just watch the Nuggets beat the Nets. Nuggets are now 10-6 without Joker. That is pretty impressive
and
stuff.
no Aaron Gordon now for a while. So much more in sports. We're going to go back to some of the news now that we've been on 9, and now we're joining our friends on Channel 20. Democrats had threatened to shut down the government after the latest shooting in Minneapolis. Tonight, President Trump and Senate Dems say they have a deal to avoid a prolonged shutdown. So
this agreement, if it holds, is going to fund all of government with the exception of Homeland Security, like ICE, through next September. 9 News anchor Phil Lipoff is here now with details on this. Phil?
Kyle, the deal comes after Democrats voted to block legislation to fund DHS earlier in the day, angry, as you mentioned, over the deaths of both Renee Good and Alex Preddy at the hands of federal officers in Minneapolis. Dems are demanding some new restrictions for President Trump's surge of immigration enforcement. The agreement comes together just hours after the Senate rejected a sweeping $1.2 trillion funding package that the House passed last week, bundling all 6 funding bills together, including funding for DHS. 8 Republicans joined all Democrats in voting no. So DHS will now operate with a 2-week stopgap bill. The continuing resolution will keep DHS running through February 13th. Colorado's Democratic Senator John Hickenlooper laid out some of the changes his party wants to see.
ICE needs first to take their masks off. They need to turn on body cameras. They need to be clearly identified. There can be no accountability without transparency.
The deal now heads to the House on Monday. If they don't come in this weekend, funding will temporarily lapse for multiple agencies starting at 12:01 a.m. Saturday, but the impact would be minimal since most federal employees don't work on the weekend. The last and longest ever government shutdown, you'll remember, began in October and lasted 43 days. Kyle?
Thank you, Phil. So metro area saw a brief cool down today. There were some glimpses of sunshine, and there's more where that came from as we head into the weekend with highs near 60 degrees. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, we need a new word for this because it doesn't feel like winter, it doesn't act like winter, but it's not quite any of the other seasons either.
Yeah, we're lost in limbo for sure.
Yeah, we are.
We really don't know what season it is, and it's going to feel like spring again this weekend as it warms up Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow might feel a little bit like this. This was the results from today. 47 was our high in Denver, although we'll have full sun tomorrow, so that'll help us feel a little bit warmer. Both the high and the low were warmer than normal, nowhere near the records, and our biggest snowfall we've ever had on this day was in 1951, 8.3 inches. It'll be much cooler tomorrow morning than it was this morning as temperatures drop into the teens and the 20s across the eastern half of the state, and some negative temperatures up in the high mountain valleys like the Gunnison Valley. Here's the high temperatures for tomorrow. You can clearly see there's some cold air right in our neighborhood. It'll be hanging out here towards the northeast. That'll make the northeast corner pretty cold. Could see some snow flurries out there, but we may get up to about 50 degrees across the Front Range on Friday, and then in the weekend, much warmer than normal, 56 on Saturday, and we could have a 60 burger on Sunday with lots of sunshine and light winds. I'll have more details coming up in just a few minutes.
State troopers are investigating a terrible crash on I-70 in Clear Creek County today. Killed one person, injured 8 others.
This crash involved a van taking a girls' hockey team from California to a tournament in Littleton. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj is outside Denver Health, where some of the team members were taken. Shalima.
That's right. Good evening. We got a chance to speak to a member of the medical team here at Denver Health, and they tell us they got a call from Clear Creek County Dispatch early this morning about a major vehicle wreck. At that point, they cleared out some rooms, they assembled their teams, and they sprung into action. A devastating scene unfolded along I-70 near the Eisenhower Tunnel early Thursday. State troopers say a snowplow driver lost control. It veered across the median and broke through a cable barrier. It slammed into a pickup truck in the eastbound lanes, then continued on, eventually striking a Sprinter van carrying members of a California-based under-12 girls hockey team.
I immediately started calling to people trying to figure out, because I just actually saw a number of these girls last night at our rink at a practice.
Prescott Littlefield, president of the SC Flyers, says the team was traveling to Colorado to compete in a weekend hockey tournament in Littleton.
I have already had close to a dozen rivals, people that, on a normal Sunday, the kids are going head to head and everybody's yelling at each other, and everybody's reached out with nothing but support and compassion and said, hey, what can I do? How can I help?
10 people were inside the Sprinter van, 5 of them children. One person was airlifted to the hospital. The driver, identified by the team as a parent of one of the players, was pronounced dead at the scene.
We received 7 patients at Denver Health.
Emergency medicine physician Dr. Eric Lavonis says they treated 3 adults and 4 children.
We expect all of the patients ultimately to make a full recovery. Some should have fairly short stays in the hospital, some a little longer.
Right now, Prescott says the priority is getting the girls home.
Girls, I'm so sorry you've been through this.
His message to them right now:
everybody's behind you, the whole club. Everyone back home has been reaching out, asking how you are, what we can do to help. And you guys are really just, you're heroes among us all.
Now, we reached out to CDOT, the operator of the plow involved in this crash, and they are not commenting at this moment. Instead, they pointed us back in the direction of Colorado State Patrol. Reporting live outside Denver Health, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
An abortion rights group is raising concerns about whether Colorado's flock surveillance cameras could be used by red state law enforcement to track women coming into our state for abortions. We have reported extensively on worries raised about immigration agents getting their hands on those tracking data cameras. But the reproductive and abortion rights group Cobalt is concerned that they could also be a tool for out-of-state law enforcement who want to track people coming to Colorado for a legal abortion. Cobalt is supporting a bill that would require law enforcement to get a valid judicial warrant to run a search and would ban out-of-state searches.
We do have shield protections that we have passed here in Colorado to protect patients and providers, and we need to really double down on those.
The bill already has one notable opponent, the Colorado District Attorney's Council. They say it undermines law enforcement's ability to solve crimes and would slow down their investigations. The bill, as it is currently written, would have exceptions for emergency situations.
Months after a woman was assaulted on the Highline Canal Trail in Aurora, police have made an arrest. They say they took 21-year-old Jack Kadeb into custody for an assault that happened in Expo Park last May. A woman told officers she was walking around 6:30 in the morning when she was attacked from behind by a man she didn't know. She fought him off and warned other women in the area. Police say they arrested the man after getting a tip through Crime Stoppers. He now faces charges of sexual assault. He's being held in the Arapahoe County Jail without bond as he awaits his first court appearance.